Master's my friend. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. Not listening. Not listening. You're a liar. And a thief. No. Murderer. Go away. Go away. I hate you. I hate you. Where would you be without me? Ellen, I saved us. It was me. We survived because of me. Not anymore. What did you say?
Send out your wog, riders. This is spoilers.
Wag.
This is spoilers.
Yeah, so this is Brett. You guys remember when he says wog? Remember that happening?
Out your wog, riders.
That's really good.
That's pretty cool, right?
Your wog, I don't think someone told them, they're like, you're not going to tell Christopher Lee's pronouncing something wrong. It's like, oh, yeah, let's go with that. This
Have you
is
ever
Brett.
stabbed a man? That's what he tells Peter Jackson.
All right, this is Brett. This is episode 4, the famous Two Towers Lord of the Rings podcast on spoilers. And we're just going to get right into it, I think. Let's see, you have any announcements, anybody?
Go for it, Brett.
All right. Okay, so my section starts off with Theoden's sister daughter, Eowyn. That's what they call him. She's got the biggest lady boner for Aragorn. They meet in the... and that's something that I love. I mean, I remember when I listened to it recently on the books, I'm like, it can't be that pronounced, but no, it's even worse in the books. She freaking is obsessed with him. It's so funny.
Look, she's seen Eastern Promises. She knows he's...
Oh, yeah. She knows what she's dealing with. Aragorn, I don't know why they did this. It's kind of a cool but throwaway scene, and you can tell why they cut it, but he's taming a horse, not in a sexual way.
Oh, geez.
And Eowyn just
no one would have thought that was sexual, Brett.
Nobody
you said that.
Nobody? Okay. Well, she just completely falls in love with him there and kind of stalks him the rest of the movie. So that just kind of gets into Wormtail just kind of unceremoniously walks into Saruman and starts being super cocky. He starts talking about an elf, a man, and a dwarf. And does somebody want to just kind of say what Saruman says to him?
How stupid is Saruman? I have to ask.
Why?
Deliberately. Wormtongue is like, hey, dude, this sounds like Aragorn. Saruman's like, nope. And he's like, he sounds a little bit like Aragorn. Saruman's like, nope. And he's like, he's wearing this ring. Let me check this book. I'm pretty sure it's Aragorn. No, it's not.
The book has a picture of the ring. It says, if he's wearing this, it's Aragorn.
It's literally right there. Saruman's like, nah, bro. Not even close.
He's like an arrogant dick. He doesn't think. And then he's like, oh, he's found his heir. It doesn't matter. He'll fail. But anyway, he says he stinks like a horse, which it's like, this dude has been deep undercover for you for a couple years, and he treats him like absolute crap. But that's why he's a villain.
He does. He pushes that guy around.
And he gets his revenge in the end. But I don't remember if this is in the movie or not, but Theoden's talking to one of his guys, and he's like, this is not a defeat. We will return. And is he convincing that guy, or is he convincing himself? I don't know. I don't know if we talked about this or not in Jordan's scene. I just wanted to bring it up. Is Jordan's scene the one that had the, last I checked, Theoden, not Aragorn, was king of Rohan?
I think so. Yeah.
It's like, dude, 5 hours ago you were like a mush pit sitting on a chair. Do you really want to say that? Tell me nobody else thinks about that.
How does that line of power work? Because Aragorn is the king of men, so he could just say, last I checked, I'm the king of men, not Theoden, king of Rohan.
He hadn't claimed it yet. He hadn't claimed it yet or not, but yeah, for sure. They're way more important than Rohan. They've been there a lot longer, and they're way more powerful and everything, so. But yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, I have a question then. Is Gondor is the greater kingdom, and Rohan is a kingdom within Gondor? or is it its own separate thing entirely?
I would say in the middle of that. Like, it's definitely its own thing, but they are under the rule of Gondor. I mean, Gondor's definitely way more powerful. They're, when they call, you answer. Like, and
Right.
they make a big deal in this movie to be like, oh, I don't want to go to Gondor's aid. But like, God, I was told myself I wouldn't say this phrase at all. But so in the book, they're like, yeah, we'll come. We just have to gather up people. We're like, we'll be there. So they're never like not going to go. They're just like, we have stuff we need to take care of, and then we'll be there. They're like, we'll be dead by then. They're like, sorry. So, they definitely, their liege, they owe their allegiance to Gondor for sure. But they are like their own separate entity. That's what I would say.
It's kind of like a states versus federal government argument. That's how I kind of put it in my mind.
Yeah, that's for sure. And okay, so you have another little quick scene with Eowyn and Aragorn. She's like, oh no, women have it so hard living through wars and not having to fight. I think that's what she says verbatim. Something like that. Oh.
Yep. Right.
She says she wants to fight. She's
Such
trained.
a victim. She's got some skills, and she looks like she wants to murder Aragorn. That's like the only time when she's not like bonerizing him, and she's just like, I want to kill you for even trying to. Sorry, I'm digging myself a hole. I'm sorry.
Interrupting her fucking
she's
sword form.
Yeah, like she's practicing, man. So yeah, they leave for Helm's Deep, and I don't know. Does anybody have anything that I've skipped? I mean, I'm trying to go through quickly because I don't know.
It's a lot of quick cuts in this early part. I feel like it bounces around a lot.
How far is Helm's Deep? It seems like he's dooming a lot of these people to maybe die on this walk.
It's like the Oregon Trail for Rohan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
And it
old
seems
people.
like the wags would definitely catch up.
Yeah, they definitely have gotten dysentery on the way there, and they've definitely died.
Multiple rattlesnake bites.
Plus, they live on like a
Rattlesnake,
cliff.
yep.
Like they got to climb down that cliff.
Yeah, they're like, Mikey, they're like, oh, we made it, we're safe. And like, it's 4 miles away still.
They start sprinting towards it from so far away. Get the fuck out of here.
Someone could redesign the Oregon Trail, the old game, and just make it like the
Lord of the
Helm's
Rings.
Deep Trail, and just like
Oh my god.
change the name of like certain things and put in little character sprites.
Your ward isn't like the fields of Oregon. It's Helm's Deep, where 10,000 orcs will descend upon you in your night.
Yeah.
Your 12-year-old son is now in the
It
military.
turns into tower defense.
Your 9-year-old son was killed by a wog in the middle of the night.
Maybe the wag ate your baby.
All right, so yeah, we get to the part I referenced earlier. They're getting super, like, he finally starts listening to Wormtail, kind of what Stevie was talking about earlier. And then he's like,
Wormtail.
Wormtongue, not Peter Pettigrew, Wormtongue.
Harry Potter references. Let's go.
Let's go.
Quick note on the actor who
Chucky.
played Wormtail in this movie. He wasn't like on set all the time. Like he wasn't one of the ones who like stayed in New Zealand, so he ended up flying down 6 times or so over the course of a couple years. And every time he had to reshave his fucking eyebrows
jeez.
when he went
Oh my
down. So like
god.
Man.
he had like a young daughter at the time, and she would just be devastated. He said like when he would return with like a freakish worm-tongue face.
Oh my god.
That guy's awesome. His name's Brad Dourif. He's like been in so
Yeah,
much
for
cool
sure.
shit.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Child's Play. Yeah, he's got a...
Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, he's the guy
Yeah,
in
he's
Child's
Chucky.
Play?
That's the voice of Chucky.
The
yeah.
murderer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That tear that falls from his eye when he sees like how big that army is like one of his like things he can do as an actor too. You know, some actors can do that.
Yeah.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I saw that on IMDb too. That's cool.
I asked this question in the last episode as far as like why did Aragorn want to save him? Is it because he thought that Wormtongue might just light all the gunpowder on fire with that candle like on accident? but also for a spy, how did he not notice that there's a fucking army of 10,000 orcs
That's a
outside?
scene.
He's like, there is no army, and they're literally
that's
right
a
outside
scene
the
that
door.
like Cinema Sins and stuff make fun of, but like who knows? Maybe he came in the front and went right up that tower. Maybe he just didn't notice.
The loudest rock concert on Earth is going on, and you're like, bro, pretty silent in here. What's going on?
Yeah, there is no such army.
He is kind of out of the loop, isn't he? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of out of the loop. All right, so we actually get to, I guess, in this one, I'd call it our B story, but you get to Frodo. They start like the bickering between Frodo and Sam pretty early in this movie, and I don't know, and I think it probably adds to the tension of the movie. So Frodo kind of wants to help Smeagol. He's starting to kind of like him, and as we mentioned in I think episode 1 or 2, Sam called him like Slinker and Stinker, and like Frodo just had enough of him kind of bullying him. So, and is this like the first real snap that Frodo has at Sam, Josh?
I think so. It all goes back to that moment where Bilbo snaps, and we all love it when Bilbo's like, and like you feel Frodo building to that, but it's not quite to that level here. He just, he's starting to feel a lot of sympathy for
Yeah, because he
Smeagol.
gets it. Yeah,
And Sam doesn't get everything about how the ring is like changing Frodo's soul, I think, to some extent. And so like there's a disconnect between them and Frodo. The only person in the world he really has a kinship with that have had the ring before are Bilbo and Smeagol is right there. So I don't know, what is it about Smeagol? Smeagol's kind of like Frodo's hope that if Smeagol can somehow be a good boy, then maybe Frodo will be able to hold on to the ring and be a good boy.
yeah, but
or something.
that's a little. I like the idea of that. It's a little frail because I mean, Smeagol had the ring for centuries, and Frodo's going to end up having it for like a year. Now he doesn't know that he's only going to have it for a year, but he's not going to have it for centuries. Let's put it that way. So I think it's a nice concept, but I think it rings a little hollow. Does everybody else? What do you think?
I always thought it was just more of that the ring just divides.
For sure.
Right? The ring wants to be found,
True.
and part of that is like division amongst the people who are like possessing it, right? Kind of like what it did to Boromir. It's gonna like make everyone go crazy
sure.
as much as possible, and the in-group, out-group stuff.
Yeah, so Pappy and I were kind of discussing this before the pod started, but like I had made a comment that when Andy Serkis inevitably wins a career Oscar, which he deserves, this is like going to be one of the first scenes they show is him arguing with himself as Smeagol and Gollum. It's so good. It still looks so good. It's so funny. I think the dialogue's amazing. Does anybody want to like kind of like touch on that and what some of their favorite or least favorite things are on that conversation?
Not so much the dialogue, but the choice to, I don't know what you'd call it. Like it starts with like two, help me out, Josh. Like it's not like a pan, but like a rotate, like a half 180 kind of circle, Like you see Gollum doing the turns initially, and then it goes to like reverse shot. Like the way it like eases into that, like you forget it's the same person doing both things. And apparently Andy Serkis shot that like straight through. Like that's just
really?
one solid performance of him with like two cameras just turning to both cameras back and forth, like doing the scene, which is just crazy. It's so good.
Yeah, I was going to let Josh touch on that if you want to, but like it's like his manner, like you said, you forget that it's the same person because their mannerisms are the same. They're so different. I mean, they're so different that you forget because one of them's just like kind of mean looking and nasty, and the other one's just kind of like super frail and. Yeah, it's so good, and you're right. It's maybe not the dialogue, but some of the lines crack me up. Like I think he said something like "Nobody likes you." I don't know why that always kind of cracks me up.
Nobody likes you.
Not listening.
it does balance comedy in that scene really well. I mean, it's just a good moment, but like the way they handle it, like it's serious, but those little like bits that are peppered in, like I don't know, they do them at the exact right time, I think.
For sure.
the comedy works in this movie when it's like in motion with the story. Anytime the story has to slow down to do some comedy, it's like, oof, what the fuck is that?
You have an example?
The trees from the Jordan's part. Yeah.
Merry and Pippin. Yeah. Getting taller.
Merry and Pippin.
The ant draft. Yeah, that's true. Oh, man, I didn't even realize this part was in mine because it wasn't in the timestamps. But, yeah, so I got potatoes. So,
You lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know. Lucky me. I got potatoes and oliphants and everything like that. But, yeah, there's a classic. I mean, when Josh and I were in college, like, the earliest little, like, meme things and, like, little quick videos were, you remember, Josh, the boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew?
Stick them in a stew. Boil them, mash them.
Potatoes.
I think we can play a clip of that. Let's play a clip of that for sure.
Yeah.
What we need's a few good taters.
What's taters, precious? What's taters, huh?
Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Boil 'em, mash 'em, boil 'em, boil 'em, boil 'em, mash 'em, boil 'em, boil 'em, boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Boil 'em, mash 'em, boil 'em, boil 'em. Potato, 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 potato. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew.
Oh, that was good.
Ooh.
Man, it brings back memories, huh, Josh?
Yeah.
All right, so so then they kind of Frodo just kind of creeps off as Sam's making some coney stew, which
some coney dogs.
not quite, but I bet they would love that on there. But yeah, they see some oliphants and some more men from the east or west or something like that, and then all of a sudden they just get murked by all these soldiers. You don't really know who's going on. Gollum does make the point, they're assembling an army. It's kind of like their last stand. It's kind of vague, but he says something like the dark one. I don't know. But this is when you get introduced to Faramir. And I know Corey will touch on Faramir a lot more. Actually, he's one of my favorite characters, like in the books. I don't think they do him as well as service in the movies, but I like him as well.
He is a cold
dick.
fish, ain't he?
In the movie, for sure, he's not at all.
Yeah,
in the
that's what
book,
I mean.
he's like literally. I like joked with my dad, but he's like the nicest guy in the whole book.
He's the nicest guy in Middle Earth. That
for sure.
That Faramir.
I think it's right here. Frodo has to be thinking to himself about Sam, like, this dog just ain't gonna hunt. I mean, like, Sam, like, Frodo's like, hey, dude, let's go. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of people around, let's get out of here. And Sam's like, look at the oliphants. Frodo's like, yeah, that's cool, dude, but let's keep going. And then, like, arrows are flying everywhere. People are dying. Frodo's like, Sam, let's go. Sam's like, oh my God, Mr. Frodo. Like,
he's obviously like
there's like 7 different places where Sam could have been like, hey, it's getting hairy. Let's get out of here. And like, I mean, what happens next? Frodo legitimately has to be thinking to himself, like, it might be time to fire Sam.
Yeah, after that whole incident at the gate and everything.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's trying to charge the
out.
gate of Mordor. Like, honestly, if I were Frodo, I would have dished him a long time, way before Return of the King.
Dumbest guy in the whole Shire follows me.
Or the whole movie.
So Stevie tonight has been outraged over 2 things that were both almost identical. Someone says something, and the other person won't listen. That's kind of what it boils down. Yeah.
Common sense.
It's like when someone tells you what the timestamps are and nobody else listens. I know exactly what you mean, Stevie. It's the worst.
It's like when I try to do trivia for all 7 episodes, mess one up, and everyone jumps all over me. Gosh. Is this Swords and Shields or what?
Coming soon.
By the way, Stevie, just go ahead and stop me when we get to your favorite part. Is it coming up, or your favorite line? Because I'm about to start talking about dwarf women.
Okay, no, I'll tell you when. It's near. Yeah, I'll tell you when. I think it's actually in Corey's part, so we're good.
Okay, so yeah, we're getting close to wrapping this up. They go back to the story with Aragorn and all them, and there's a little bit of comic relief. Do you like this kind of comic relief, Pappy? Yeah,
the dwarf woman's hilarious.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know why it makes me laugh so much. I think it's partially like the playfulness with Aragorn in the background.
Yeah.
Like, it's the beards. Like that cracks me up. And yeah, I don't know. I like learning about Middle Earth. You know what I mean? If we can do that and laugh a little bit, it's a good time. And then, of course, John Rhys Davies falling off his horse is physical comedy.
I've like
gold.
always
He falls
said,
hard.
Oh yeah. I don't know why that stuck with me, but I've always like said in my life, oh, that was deliberate. That was deliberate. It's first of all, they do him so dirty in these movies. I mean, he's funny, but he's like such an idiot.
He's still tough though. Like
yeah.
they don't make him like weak or anything, so that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to talk about it, Brett, but like the bit of comedy that comes around this area with Aragorn and Éowyn, I fucking love that.
Me too.
Shit. I love it.
That's an extra scene, right? Because I don't remember that like at all.
It is, yeah. That's where Éowyn has the stew that she
So
made.
good, yeah.
And she's like Gimli won't fucking touch it. He like smells it. He's like, nope.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Even Carl Weathers wouldn't touch that stew.
Bappy.
You don't have yourself a stew going.
So real quick, another thing before we get to that, because it's so funny. I laughed. I don't remember that at all. It's a sad little story about Éowyn that Theoden tells. That's not in the... Like, who knows my theatrical cut?
Me. No, that's new.
Okay, because I don't remember any of that. It's pretty good, though. Like, that's something that maybe... It's only about a 30 seconds long. That's something that could have maybe stayed, but, you know, they have... Peter Jackson is
like
pretty good.
Like the theatrical cut, you do get the shot of her like leaving, you know, like with the group, so you're aware that she's in that group. But I don't think like any of like the exposition, like with Elrond talking to Aragorn and being like, "You can't date my daughter, bro," like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, none of that's in the theatrical.
I think it is important for the story because I think it helps like explain the reasons why they don't want Éowyn to fight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I
I'm
think
with
it's
you.
good
I
to
think
have.
I think it was. I think it. What I'm saying is, I think it should have been in the theatrical cut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised it was taken out because it's so short. But
It's really quick too. I love when like Aragorn's about to leave and Éowyn like pops out, but you get a shot of the Fellowship like getting ready to leave on their quest. Like that little detail, I just love it. Like kind of looping the story back like that.
yeah. So Corey, do you want to like just real quick kind of explain that story a little more?
Oh yeah, so Éowyn, she's cruising around the camp with the soup she made, the stew or whatever. And she gives it to Aragorn, and she's just like watching him intently as he tries it, and you can tell this stuff is fucking disgusting. And like the part that's funniest is he can just barely push out the words, "It's good."
I love when he tries to
Yeah.
dump. I love when he tries to dump it too, and he's like, "Ah!"
Burns his hand.
Yeah, well, it looks like she heats up a bowl of spit. It doesn't look very good at all.
Like each person at the camp spit.
It's also right next to like the part where she learns that he's 87 years old, and she's so surprised, like, "Oh, you're old as fuck! I didn't even realize."
I love older men.
Yeah.
Seriously, she does.
She's like, "You're older than my uncle," and then she like starts liking him even more, for sure.
God, no wonder she had a thing for Wormtongue.
This is too when Aragorn realizes that Éowyn is not for him. Like, I think he was kind of
friend zones
considering
her,
it,
for sure.
but then like he tastes her cooking and it's over.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, maybe you should spend a little more time cooking and a little less time with your sword play."
Dang.
Swordplay is good too.
Him being old is like a byproduct of his race or whatever. Is that what they
the
say? 'Cause
Dunedain.
northern.
The Dunedain, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's never like they've been like kind of extinct for a long time, but obviously not extinct, but like, yeah. So the Dunedain's like this really great race of men that was basically almost wiped out, but yeah. So I didn't know he was that old. Like he alludes to it in the books. He's like, "I'm older than, you know, you're older men." Like he makes, but like I didn't know he was that old. But it's definitely possible. He's gonna live. He's gonna live to be a couple 100 years old, probably.
Just to add on that, like everyone in Lord of the Rings is trying to out old each other. Like seriously, everyone. It's like, "Oh, I'm 111 years old today. Oh yeah, well, I'm an 87-year-old man. Oh, Gandalf has been around for this long. What about fucking Bombadil?" It's
Yeah.
everyone's older than everyone else.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, 111 is not very old, but compared to like Galadriel or man, I'm drawing a blank on the ant name, Treebeard. All right, so let's go ahead.
Yeah, Treebeard.
Yeah, I don't really want to spend that much time on the dreams, the flashbacks. I mean, I think this. Somebody want to take those, Joe? Do you remember those flashbacks at all? I mean, there's the one where he's dreaming. He has a wet dream. There's the Elrond guilt trip, and then anybody want to touch on some of that before we move on?
Yeah.
It's kind of like forgettable.
Grinding halt.
Yeah, for sure.
The worst.
It's like one of them spaced out would have been okay, but it's like one and then a quick cut back to real time, then another one, and then a quick cut back to real time, and then another one. It's like it is grinding halt is a perfect term for it. And it's not like I don't like hate. It's just like, man, it really takes me out, especially right before we get to what comes next, which is the end of my section, and it's the Wog attack, which is probably my only real big bit of action. But yeah, the wargs come. Hama just gets eaten. His face gets eaten.
Is that his name?
Hama, yeah.
Okay, so Hama and Gimli are left and right. Okay, I got you.
Yep, and then Aragorn dies. It's over. Everyone knows.
The race of men has fallen.
What do you think about the look of the wargs, Brett? Because I was listening to the director's commentary, and Peter Jackson's pretty positive on almost everything he did in the movie with really good reason. But even he said that like this is one thing that he regretted, that he didn't quite get the look right for them in terms of the CGI.
Really? I think they look cool.
Like, you think up close or like their actual movements?
To me, this battle sequence has a lot of like kinetic moving, not quite shaky cam, but it's like more of a Michael Bay not still camera. Like when the camera's just still looking at a warg and it's moving, I don't think it looks pretty good. I don't think it looks good at all. I think it looks pretty like fake. But I think like when we're like in the heat of battle, everything's so quick that it covers it pretty well.
Yeah, I get kind of a Ed from Lion King vibe. Is that the dumb?
Oh, the hyena.
Is that the dumb one? The dumb one?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they look decent when they're moving, but up close they look kind of weird. It's not really how I would have gone. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. Really? What about? I mean, anybody else want to hop in?
The part where Legolas jumps up and is like swinging around.
Yeah, it's much more egregious.
It doesn't make sense to physics at all. Like, what's he doing?
He broke his
rip
arm.
his shoulder out of his socket. Out of his socket.
Elves don't obey the laws of physics.
No, yeah, like I don't care about the physics. It just kind of looks bad. I mean, it looks great compared to the stuff that you see in Return of the King, when he's like climbing up the. But it sucks too because I think one of the coolest shots of my whole part happens right before that, and that's when the wargs are coming down the hill for the first time, and Legolas shoots an arrow, and it hits. I think that's really cool, and then like that's when he hops on. It's I don't know. I mean, I think it probably looked cool in 2001, but it doesn't.
So apparently the story behind that scene was they just had to like make that shit up on the fly in editing, because that was like in between. They have shots of Legolas on a horse, but they never shot like him getting on a horse, and that's like when he busted his rib, Orlando Bloom. So like they had to like basically just create that whole thing in post, which is why it looks so.
Yeah, but that's
so
not
funky.
bad considering, I guess. I mean,
it's not ideal.
No, for sure. But I'm saying that it could have been a lot worse. It sounds like maybe. But yeah, so my whole thing ends with I guess a little bit of comic relief with Gimli. He just keeps getting trapped, and more things keep coming towards him, and he gets Ex Machina alive a couple times, and then the whole Aragorn falls off, and everyone's supposed to think he's dead.
There's a really great moment when Gimli's pinned and Aragorn saves him. He's riding up on the horse, and he picks up like a spear out of a corpse as he's riding, and then like chucks it. Really looks really good, that moment. I love it.
I like it too that Gimli, one of the times he's trapped him to there, just like snaps the orc's neck really
Definitely.
quick, like Steven Seagal's him.
For sure, that's a good one. Well, that's all I got. Josh, if you want to Anybody want to touch up on anything before we get to trivia or not?
Is it trivia time?
Yeah.
Let's go into it.
Let's get those inaccurate scores.
Well, I found earlier in the pod, Corey was going off on like how everyone's trying to out old each other. So we find out in this section of Two Towers that Aragorn is 87 at this time. I want you to tell me, and we're going to do another closest to, but here's the question.
Ooh.
You're trying to guess a number that's Aragorn's age when he died plus his wife's age. So,
Wow.
yeah, Arwen died. I'll just give you a hint. She died shortly after of a broken heart. So try to guess this fairly dank number.
Pathetic.
What is this operation? Fucking broken heart.
She died of water on the knee.
Is it water on the knee?
So she
So
does
how old
Padme
was
out.
Arwen when she died?
Yeah, it's just fucking Padme.
Plus,
Arwen, yeah, she Padme'd out. No, it's Arwen's age at death plus Aragorn's age at death. And we're going to go in
Aragorn.
reverse order. So, Mikey, let's just do the same thing from last time. I think it's obvious that you want to go last in these closest twos. So, Corey, you have the most points with 7 right now. You have to go first.
Man, she could really be like 100 years old, 10,000 years old.
It's less than 1,000. Just like last time.
Oh, the total number is less than 1,000?
Yep.
It is?
It is?
That really narrows it down from infinite numbers.
yeah,
to
for
only
sure. I was doing
Josh,
some.
that's my whole strategy.
I just said she died shortly after of a broken heart.
You didn't say we didn't know how old she was before, though.
Yeah.
She
Well, we know
died
it's less
shortly after Aragorn
We all
died.
got the clue. That's fair.
Okay. 600.
Gotcha. There are several people that have 6 points. Stevie, since you are the ring bearer, you get the most advantage. Joe, you're next. 6 points.
This is bullshit.
Man, maybe.
I'm gonna go 680.
Pappy. 6 points.
I don't know. I may have had too much pipe weed, but I'm going to go 420, baby.
Happy is feeling better this week.
I am.
Stevie.
I mean, 690.
Cocksucker.
Y'all are playing.
Brett.
What was Jode's?
420.
Don't worry about it.
Joe said 680.
I will go 691, Bob.
Ugh.
Mikey, you have 4 points. You're just 3 points off the leader, but you are in last and get to go last here.
Chucky?
Let's go even 500.
Ooh, 500, Bob.
I think I went too high.
I think my guess is looking good.
Hold on a second. I want to do all the math before I start talking, so I'm not talking and doing math at the same time.
Smart.
What's the actual number?
Not telling you yet.
Wait, were we talking about Aragorn or Aragon from the books?
Aragorn.
Aragon?
What's the
Aragon.
difference?
Aragon is like a separate book series, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. The Inheritance.
Josh,
The Inheritance
Josh, I think
cycle.
you-
Same as Wormtail.
I think Josh led us astray.
Indeed.
Because, like, everything I'm looking up has Arwen in the thousands, bro.
Oh boy.
We need
Oh,
a new
really?
trivia.
Yeah.
Did you lie about the hint?
He
You
lied
fucking-
about the goddamn hint.
I think he just said it wrong. Like, he kept saying he died. She
I got,
died
her,
right
I got
after.
her age right here.
Hold on, I'm trying to do some math.
Oh,
Jesus.
boy.
Like Pete Rose has like as many hits as her age. Like it's insane.
Dude, if it's over 1,000, I'm calling shenanigans.
It's 2,900.
It's over
That's
9,000.
shenanigans.
Oh.
Yeah, she's
Such
reverse
shenanigans.
problematic in this
Okay, so-
scenario.
The correct answer. And I gave a really good hint. I said, guess this fairly dank number. It's 421 years. according to canon that I read,
Are you counting Aragorn as negative years?
Aragorn lived
Is
to be
negative
200
1500 years.
He lived to be 210, and Arwen died 1 year later of a broken heart.
That's not how that works.
421.
That's
Years.
definitely not.
They're not the same
Smoke
age.
pipe
They're not the
weed every
same
day,
age. They
bro.
were born on the same day.
I'm reading right here. Arwen, then over
Good job,
2,700
Josh.
years old, had recently returned
What's
to her
our
father's
totals?
home.
Oh boy.
This is score update.
This is bullshit.
Score update.
Dang it. Okay.
Sorry, Josh can't do
racist trivia.
math, listeners.
More timestamp debacle.
That is not dank, Josh. That is swag, dude. That's
That
bad.
is
Swag.
I got it.
Swag.
Good thing I have
I'm
backup
okay with
trivia.
my
I have
guess.
That's a
backup
Bobby
trivia.
Brown. That's
pretty good
Bobby
guess.
Brown, dude.
Wait, what?
None of these jokes are even going in the episode, so do yourself a
Stop
I
favor.
the
won
count.
the
Just
last trivia.
Stop the count.
Chill out. Corey, you're going to have to go first in this trivia. And we were talking earlier about Sam and Frodo's relationship, and we love Sean Astin, being people from South Bend, around that area. We love Notre Dame. We love Rudy.
Eh.
We are just going to straight up guess who's the closest to the date of Sean Astin's actual birth. This was actually my backup trivia to let the listeners know. I had this terrible question. Maybe we'll put it on the Patreon. I really messed up. But, guys, this is the re-edit, and we're back into trivia. Trying to get the date of Sean Astin's birth, okay? Everyone needs to chill out. Everyone's super mad at me. Just chill.
I won the last trivia
Corey.
for the audiences.
I would have got second.
Yeah,
I can
see
do
what I
this.
would have killed
I
it.
see what I did was wrong, and I'm trying to move on from that.
To the listeners at home, Josh thought that Aragorn and Arwen were born on the same day at the exact same second.
It was something like that. It really was.
We kept trying to tell you, you're like, died shortly after.
I'm so sorry.
Love
Larry,
it.
go ahead.
All right, I think I have a good baseline for this in my head. I'm not going to give it away. I'll say it after. So I'm just going to say October 14th, which is my birthday, but the year of 1972.
10/14/72. Got it. Jode.
I mean, first of all, I resent your Smeagol and Gollum talk at the beginning that we like all of the things that you mentioned. But I'm going to say August 7th of 1970.
Okay.
Well, I technically won the last trivia. I started counting the fraudulent mail-in, kind of fraudulent mail-in ages, but I'm going to go with April 20th, 1971. Baby.
Okay. Pap said 420 of 71.
Yep.
Hey now.
Pap, you were born in a Notre Dame game, right?
Hey now. Day before a Notre Dame game.
Okay, let's go with that then. I'll say November the 14th, 1971, year of our Lord.
Whoa.
11/14/70.
71.
What year did Goonies come out?
85?
That was what I was using in my head. I'm not telling you.
What did Jode? What did you say?
Get out of here.
God damn it.
Why are you always basing your guess off my guesses? 70. 1970, August 7th.
I'll go August 6th, 1970.
Jeez.
Bitch.
Math.
8/6/70. Pappy or Mikey, you have 4 points, and you're in last, but you're not far behind. You are.
You're only one behind me.
Depends how the votes are counted.
Well, I don't know why nobody has said 42069, baby.
That was so big brain.
Because the answer is 421.
The correct date is February 25th, 1971. And I
Let's
think,
go.
Pappy, I think you got a repeat.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's
boy.
go.
The fake question
Trivia
to
never
the new
lies,
question.
boys.
Trivia never lies. You got 5 points for that, which puts you at 11.
Joe,
I will double check
Joe and I
these
should be
in
2
the
with 3,
break,
right?
but
got
something
2.
like that. Yeah, just everyone start screaming out numbers. That'd be for the best. But Mikey, I'm pretty sure that you got last again from that.
Oh, man.
We'll have the full update of standings at the end of the next episode. But to finish this out here, Brett, I'll toss it back to you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking around for Two Towers Part 4. Stay tuned for Part 5. This is Spoilers.
Spoiler Man here. Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is podcast spoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme song. Please support this podcast by leaving us an iTunes review. To do this, 1. Search for movie spoilers. 2. Click on our orange Spoilers Bowl logo and scroll all the way to the bottom. 3. Leave us some stars and some words. Now you can check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts.
What did you say?
That was Spoilers.